Hello, my name's Terry Brightwater. I'm a holistic life coach, and this is the Inner Space blog for March the 29th, 2013. So today is Good Friday, in a celebration of Easter, so we're just at the start of Easter. We've got tomorrow, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, and we've just, this week, we've just had the full moon in Libra, which is in astrology symbolises the scales, which is balance. And this week's evolutionary wave that's coming through, you can hear the waves in the background there, which is the Caribbean Ocean, Caribbean Sea, and behind me is the jungle. And this week's evolutionary wave is the challenge of bringing balance back into our lives. And it can be a challenge. So it really is going to be about balance this week, and how bringing balance back into our lives can be, believe it or not, can be quite enjoyable if we are aligned with our intuition. So, for example, my own experience over the last 2, almost 3 weeks is just coming out here to Costa Rica from Britain. Our flights were delayed 3 times, and instead of it taking 2 days to get here, it took us 4 days. And our first plane caught a light, thankfully, before it took off, before we boarded, but a few people boarded, and the air conditioning caught a light and the plane filled up with smoke. So we delayed that, so we got to Madrid, and we missed our flight because of such a delay, so we ended up staying the night in Madrid. Then because of that we had to be reallocated, so we were going to go from Madrid to San Jose, but the only flight we could get was going from Madrid to Miami, then to San Jose. So we did that, we went to Miami, and we went to get a connection in Miami, and the plane we were going to get on, the engine was falling off and there was fuel flying everywhere out of this plane, so we got another 6-hour delay, and we ended up getting into San Jose 2 days later than we thought, and actually had a period of travelling for 24 hours non-stop. So through all of that, me and Jade, my wife, my business partner, my fellow holistic life coach, we were thinking, well, this is amazing, this is happening, there must be some kind of synchronicity to this, and also giving thanks, giving gratitude that we're being looked after every step of the way. That I'm glad they noticed these problems with these planes before they took off, before we boarded, so they really were doing their job. So we were focusing on appreciation, on gratitude, tuning into our intuition, our open heart, and every time we tuned into it, every time we felt into our intuitive heart, there was like, when we aligned with that, we intuitively felt there's some amazing synchronicity about this, even though we're being delayed. And there was, when we got to San Jose, hotel we're staying in, we're meeting my son Chris and his friend James in San Jose, and they were staying in a hostel opposite the hotel, because the hotel was full, and they met this guy in this hostel that connected them to another person that is now really giving them a massive opportunity to fund their project Onward Life. And if we hadn't been delayed, they wouldn't have booked that hostel, because they were booked in a hotel, but because we were late, that booking went, and then there wasn't any room for them to go into a hotel, so they booked into a hostel, which they wouldn't have done if we were on our original time. So now they've connected, this guy's going to fund them, that guy's connecting to them, to an amazing international filmmaker, because Chris and James are making films. So there was an overall synchronicity that was happening, but at the time of all the delays, we didn't know what that synchronicity was. We just felt into it that there is a synchronicity here, and giving gratitude and appreciation that we're being looked after as this synchronicity is occurring. So that is how we can align to our intuition. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't challenging. There was moments, especially after being travelling almost 24 hours, and on the plane from Miami to San Jose, I was given 3 forms to fill out for immigration. So, like 20 hours of travelling, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and there was me form filling, and Jay was fast asleep, completely out of it. So, you know, I really had to take care of myself, manage not going off on one at 2 o'clock in the morning, form filling, which isn't my greatest enjoyable occupation, even at the best of times. So that was my most challenging point, and I managed to work through that. We arrived in Costa Rica, where we're staying now, on the Caribbean coast, and the last 2 weeks we've had stomach upsets. I've had kind of like a flu-y type coldy thing, and you know, again I could say, well, you know, I feel really disappointed that, you know, I'm unwell, I'm not enjoying myself, but every step of the way I've been giving gratitude that I'm getting well. Costa Rica is a fantastic place to detox. There's lots of detox yoga retreat places here, raw food places. I can see why, because it's really humid, you're just constantly sweating, and just standing still you're detoxing and purifying, and it's just like, okay, I'm just going to give myself to this, just cleanse, and I feel great. You know, just over 2 weeks later, I feel amazing. I feel really purified. Lost about 10 pounds in weight. I have to say, it's all fat. And I'm feeling much better, you know, I'm feeling much healthier, and rather than resisting the healing, rather than resisting the getting well by saying I'm unwell, I don't want to be unwell, I'm embracing getting well, and that's exactly what's happened. And lots of people that come here, they get well for the first few weeks, because that's what Costa Rica does. That's one of the reasons why I came here. So, through all of that, the reason I've given that, you know, my own personal example of that, bringing yourself back into balance, is that quite often we say, you know, I really like to have a balanced life. All things equal, but in order for that to happen, sometimes we need to go through things that we don't want to happen, but it's what we need. It's not what we want, but it's what we need. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge, to come back into balance, and it helps to come back into balance when you're aligned with your intuition. So where I currently am at the moment on the planet is on the equator. So it's exactly 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Last week it was a vernal equinox, the spring equinox, which is exactly 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. Several nights ago it was a full moon in Libra. Again, equality, balance. So we've been given this opportunity to come back into balance, and my encouragement to you is to embrace the change. is to embrace with an open heart, seeing that there may be stuff that's happening to you in your lives that you don't want to happen, but maybe, you know, in that inner space, you know, this is the inner space blog, giving yourself that inner space, that intuitive inner space, and seeing, it's like, is this what I, you know, maybe this is what I really need to bring my life back into balance, bring a relationship back into balance, relationship with ourselves, relationship with our loved ones, with our passions in life. Is life giving us that opportunity? So, you know, it helps to slow down, to relax. It's quite an intense time at the moment, I've noticed, in myself, with my clients this week. This is my first week back working with clients on Skype in a lovely chocolate coffee internet cafe that I've been using Skype. Spoken to 6 clients this week, and yeah, everybody's had an intense time over the last couple of weeks, and you know, we can really sabotage coming back into balance by avoiding what the opportunities that life has given us to come back into balance. So there is an affirmation this week. I've had something happen on my right foot. I'm a reflexologist as well. I don't do it professionally anymore, but Jay and friends are lucky enough to receive reflexology from me now and again, and I do reflexology on myself. And there's a pain on my foot, which is in reflexology, is right on my hips. Now Libra, the full moon in Libra, the body part for Libra, the astrological sign of Libra, is the hips. It's that balance, it's the scales there. And so I come up with an affirmation which kind of really sort of fitted in with the whole, everything coming back into balance. And it's slightly inspired by Louise L. Hay, who has written a book sort of 30 odd years ago called You Can Heal Your Body, and the affirmation for the hips starts off with hip hip hooray, which I think is I love that, but I kind of adapted it, changed it, and so the affirmation is hip hip hooray, there is now abundant joy, prosperity and balance in my life every step of the way. So the affirmation is hip hip hooray, there is now abundant joy, prosperity and balance in my life every step of the way. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. Hope it's been inspirational, that you don't feel quite so alone in this, in us being brought back to balance. Hope you're inspired in your personal development, whatever you're choosing for your personal development, your meditation, your inner space, and hope you're inspired to be really intuitively generous to yourself in this process of us individually and collectively coming back into balance. So much love to you all, especially on your inner space, and I look forward to seeing you next week and bringing that balance this way and that way back into balance. Much love.